All right, Aquarius, welcome to your monthly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for November of 2015. My name is Athen. This is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology. So if you're new to this type, do check the description down below because your sign might very well be different. And Aquarius, I'm going to start changing up these monthlies. Instead of focusing on all the specific minor aspects, I'm just going to focus on the major aspects as well as the planetary changes into houses and the new moon and full moon, which will help keep things much more general. And if you do want more specific information, do check your weekly where I'll go into the details of the minor aspects. This way it'll just keep it more conceptual, more big picture, instead of getting all convoluted with all the minor aspects. So Aquarius, let's go ahead and have a look. Right at the beginning of the month, Venus conjoins up to Mars. And that conjunction, interestingly enough, right when it happens, goes into your 8th house. So there's been a lot of focus on the 8th house, which is about the depth, the truth, whether it's yourself, relationships, the collective, whatever it might be. And that's going to continue to be the case, but in a different way. The Sun and the Mercury are actually leaving this part of your life, your house, this month, but at the same time, Venus and Mars go in here. So it's been your life path for the past couple of years to really see the truth, expose the truth, have that vulnerability in your relationships, drawing the line, stepping into your power when appropriate, etc. And now Venus and Mars coming in here really support that. You have the enjoyment of it. You can really enjoy connecting on that deeper level with your relationships. With Mars, you can be very direct, very assertive to understand the truth about life, to express the truth with Mars ruling your 3rd house. And all of that is, continuing for about the next month and a half with Venus and about the next 2.5 months with Mars. So lots of motivation, lots of enjoyment to be had there, and it's all part of this life path unfoldment. Now that's specifically from the 1st through the 4th, that conjunction, yin-yang, masculine, feminine, merging. Then on the 5th, the Sun goes into Libra, which is your 9th house. So there's a lot of energy shifting into the more expansive, adventurous energies of life, where you're going to have the Sun followed by Mercury on the 10th, and then a new moon on the 11th. So this is the house of spirituality. It's the house of adventure. It's the house of our outlook on life, our perspective of life, and really setting new seeds here with this, especially with the new moon, is about seeing the growth here. How you can really expand, how you can tap into that freedom, do that, connect to nature, do maybe some of that traveling or short distance, long distance, connect to people abroad, all of that, whatever it is that helps you feel expansive. And mentally, it's just, philosophy, reading about things, sharing wisdom, all of that coming in here this month and for the next 6 months with this new moon. So it's very practical. Your energy levels are gaining energy, by the way. You have the Sun at the top of the chart here at the end of the month. Mars is making his way to the top, so that's good. Lots of motivation. The Sun and Mercury are very well aspected, actually, as you can see here, this first half, trines and sextiles, and it's all supporting a lot of this more adventurous, free-spirited aspect of life. So that's the 11th. One thing I want to say, too, about this first half of the month is that, really from the 1st to the 8th, is that Jupiter is, of course, still transiting your 7th house of relationships. So there's plenty of opportunities here for you to connect, to share, to have those one-on-one connections, new and existing ones. And from the 1st to the 8th, there is suggesting some sort of, maybe some sort of healing taking place in regards to that. And that's okay. It comes across as very positive, actually, because it's Jupiter. So do that, connect, have those one-on-one connections, new and existing. And I think you'll find, especially by the 8th to the 9th, all of that is starting to feel quite healing, and you'll feel rejuvenated by the end of it, from what I feel like from this. Give me just a minute, actually. I just got to set this back up. Okay, so that's the first half of the month, really emphasis of that 9th house of yours. Then on the let's go ahead and look at the 18th. So on the 18th, the second half of the month, Neptune goes station direct. And this is Neptune in your 1st house, so very significant. All matters relating to the self that maybe there's been a grayness about, uncertainty about your goals and stuff, going with the flow, all of that's been so important for you, and healing with yourself too, goes forward now, though. So it starts to move forward. But what's interesting is right when Neptune goes station direct, he squares up to Saturn, your ruler. So for you and Capricorns, this is really going to be emphasized because there's this uncertainty, there's this doubt. Maybe it's involving the career stuff, because you've had Saturn recently go into your 10th house. So it's good to take the serious approach, the long-term approach when it comes to your career, when it comes to your legacy, anything you're working on in the future. but expect, at least to a degree, that there's going to need to be this uncertainty integrated into it. There's this flow, there's this guidance, it's internal guidance. And the less we have to have everything figured out, especially about ourselves, like who are we, can we do this, whatever it might be that's involving the first house, it's not having it all conceptualized. And the more we try to think about it, the more confused we just get about it. So it's going with the flow. The better you're able to deal with uncertainty in those areas, then the more constructive it is. And what's really taking place is that Neptune, metaphorically speaking, is helping you connect to a work and a career that's much more in alignment with your soul, basically. And again, it's not knowing that, but it's feeling that. And the more willing you are to sort of integrate that into your work or career, then you're really working in tandem with this square. So that's really emphasized, the second half emphasized on the 26th. So as you approach the 26th, work on that. It's new, it's adaptive, go easy on it. It's still new. And from the 26th onward, it becomes integrated, and I think you'll get it. And there's just something that clicks about it that you can then integrate from then on. So that's second half of the month pretty much. Then on the 21st, we've got Mercury going into your 10th house. So there's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of practical energy now going into the 10th house, followed by the Sun. So your career, your legacy, big picture stuff, a lot of focus, a lot of prana can be gained from this, a lot of energy to be utilized in there. And so do it. Do whatever that practical thing is. Take care of that business. It's going to be very serious with Saturn. Take it nice and slow. And then on the 25th, we've got this full moon in Taurus. So the full moon is a culmination in terms of your home, your family, or anything relating to your fourth house, which is also your emotional body, your roots, and your sentiments. So there's a culmination here this month, and it's all relating to maybe even the past 6 months of new intentions that you set in regards to that. So now it's an awareness, and you're seeing the awareness, you're seeing the culmination of that, and maybe there's some things that need to be brought into patience with it. Maybe there's some things that need maturity. Maybe there's a grounded approach to it with Saturn. It's, we're having to be very mature about the whole thing and very long-term and patient about the whole thing as well. Not that it isn't culminated, but that there's maybe some things that are, needing that energy. So with that, and especially because it's going to be squaring up to Neptune, there is this sort of uncertainty about the whole thing again, but that's okay. The more willing you are to go with the flow, then it really balances out this T-square, and the more willing you are to work hard and stay practical and work hard really on the career stuff, big picture stuff, then it really eases it up, and it helps you really balance the domestic life down here with the work life, and finding that balance is going to be very important this later part of the month. Now, on the 28th, we've got Chiron going station direct, which is in that first house. So again, like I said, things moving forward with the self, with the identity, not in terms of knowing it and conceptualizing it, but feeling it. And there's a healing certainly taking place this later part of the month regarding self. And then Mercury does go into the deeper Ophiuchus energy on the 29th, going into December, where you're going to have the Sun going in here, which is about the deeper connection to your work or your career. Because for you Aquarians, it's got to mean something. It's got to be meaningful. It's got to be deep. And now with Mercury shifting into Ophiuchus, it's seeing the depth, but taking it one step further, having that rejuvenation, that transformation that takes place after that in terms of healing. So I think there's just an overall willingness to really get into the nitty-gritty of it, take care of it. And naturally, there is this transformation that takes place, especially going into December, about feeling rejuvenated and healed in terms of these deeper aspects of your life being brought into the career front, which is so important for you. All right, Aquarius, so have a great month. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please do let me know, and I'll talk to you all next time. Take care.